Hey, welcome to C Train Station. I'm C Train. This is a station. Let's talk some Dubs basketball. And actually, I just wanted to sort of come at you with a prediction. Dub Nation, are you ready? Here's a prediction real quick. Which I think, okay. So the Nuggets right now just equalized in the series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It is going to be hard for Minnesota to come back and get games in Denver. Any more games in Denver. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. But I have a C-Train prediction. A C-Train prediction. Once and I think it's once, the Timberwolves go out of the playoffs, I think that there are going to be tons of Karl-Anthony Towns to the Warriors rumors. Yes, I believe that Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be rumored to the Warriors and like a lot. If you sort of research it or look it up, there are rumors that the Warriors have sort of been looking into a potential Karl-Anthony Towns trade for years. So they've been looking at how he sort of fits with that core group of, I mean, back in the, when these rumors were hot, it was 2 years ago, I believe. So it was with Steph, Clay, and Dre. How would he fit with those three? Okay, now it's more like Steph and Draymond because Clay is, hopefully he'll be re-signed, but technically he's an unrestricted free agent. He is free to flirt with other teams. So, am I saying that this would be a match made in heaven? Karl-Anthony Towns to the Warriors? No, not really. Am I saying that this would even work? I'm not sure because Towns is a big man, so he'd have to play power forward or center. And I just don't know how he stacks up defensively. I don't know how he stacks up defensively still. He's 28 years old, so that's difficult. That's not easy for me to say then, right? If I'm still not sure how he would project to the Warriors. Now, what would he do? He would provide the Warriors with shooting and size. He can spread the floor, and he friggin' finally provides that size that the Warriors have always sort of been craving, been needing since the Bogut's, since the days of Kevin Durant leaving. You know, KD was he's 6'10". I mean, what is he, listed 6'10"? Probably closer to 7. Anyways, so Karl-Anthony Towns, this is just a prediction. This is just a C-Train. I'm trying to call it early. I think that Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be rumored heavily to the Warriors. Now, I did a little messing around in the trade machine. I'm not sure if the Warriors can combine Chris Paul's contract, CP3's. But if the Warriors are able to combine CP3's contract for Karl-Anthony Towns and one other player, what works in the machine is Karl-Anthony Towns and, I believe, Leonard Miller for CP3, Kuminga, and change. Now, oh no, C-Train just traded out Kuminga. Yes, I traded Kuminga for freaking Karl-Anthony Towns, a legit 7-footer, 6'11", 7-footer, who can shoot. One thing that Karl-Anthony Towns can definitely do is he can shoot the 3 ball. So he would spread the floor. So if you're the Warriors and you wanted to do a Kuminga and CP3 and change, and you could get a guy like Towns, and why Minnesota would do it is because they get cap flexibility and they get a seasoned vet in CP3, and also they get that just an awesome wing to go along with Anthony Edwards. Could you imagine Ant-Man with Kuminga? Maybe the Warriors shouldn't do that, right? Exactly, though. Okay, so the Warriors only do a trade like this if they can get Herbert Jones in the auxiliary. So if you're telling me that you can field a lineup, if you can field a lineup closer to something like Steph, Pajetsky / Jones, Wiggins, Draymond, and Karl-Anthony Towns, if you can get that type of lineup, absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, I'm talking about getting Karl-Anthony Towns and Herbert Jones. So we're talking about Jones and Draymond in the same lineup, 2 ridiculous defenders, and we're talking about Jones and Karl-Anthony Towns spreading the floor. So we have to think like that. We can't, it's like, okay, I get it. If the Warriors traded a guy like guy like Kuminga, everybody loves, extremely high upside, one of the more athletic players in the whole league. If they traded a guy like Kuminga and CP3 for Karl-Anthony Towns, the question isn't what's going to happen, what's going to become of Kuminga. The question is, how can the Warriors craft a way to get a guy like Herbert Jones, who is almost like an OG Anunoby light, who will make the Warriors forget about Kuminga real quick, especially with that defense, if they got him. So we're not talking about like CP3 and Kuminga for Karl-Anthony Towns we're talking about the ability to get a Towns, and also then a talent like Towns, a top grade, one of the better shooting big men of all time in Towns. A pick and roll with Karl-Anthony Towns and Stephen Curry is going to be really deadly, just to let you know. But plus a guy like Herbert Jones. Then we're talking. Now we're cooking. But look, yeah, I get you. I get what most Dub Nation is probably thinking. Nah, I wouldn't do like a CP3 and Kuminga even and change and a bunch of probably firsts for Cat. It's going to be a tough one. Tough ask. But if you can also get dynamic defenders with length, like a Herbert Jones, in the auxiliary, hey, now we're cooking with fire. Till next time, C-Train out.